Good morning. Hear the dogs barking in the background. I'm Kevin, and I'm over 60. I'm 64, and I kind of wanted to create a channel that allowed me to not only walk and talk, but to explain kind of the things that I'm doing for my health, and I'm documenting it to see if what I'm doing is good or bad. So thought I'd present it to you and move from here. This isn't my only channel. I've got two other channels. Again, I'm 64, I'm retired. And I've got a channel called Craps with Kevin. I live in Vegas. And I've got another YouTube channel called Helpful Journey, all one word, Helpful Journey. Website, helpfuljourney.com, crapswithkevin.com. You're welcome to go check those out. It's all about Vegas, Helpful Journey, and maybe travel in the United States later, but right now it's all about Vegas and hanging out in Vegas and doing the strip type things, walkthroughs of hotels to give you an idea of what it looks like. And I do buffet reviews. But on the Craps channel, obviously, it's all about craps. So what's the purpose of this channel? The purpose of this channel is to not only to give somebody else that's in their 60s a chance to have somebody explain in very simple terms about health after 60. So living well after 60. So yeah, it's kind of an exciting thing.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you? Let me show the puppies. Hey, puppies. So yeah, I'm gonna walk anyway. I walk 2 miles every single day, Monday through Friday. And even on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday. Usually during the weekdays, I walk in the mornings, 9 o'clock. On the weekends, I usually walk later. I'm married, and I'm trying to convince my wife to walk more. The whole family needs to walk. I have a daughter, son, grandkids. So yeah, I'm your typical over 60 man that wants to improve my health dramatically. And I'm kind of working on it right now. Walking the 2 miles is like a base for me. I love to walk. I feel like it gives me a good solid purpose every morning. And, there's times when I could be sharing what I'm learning. I am not a doctor. This is for entertainment purposes only. But I kind of wanted to show you, what I do throughout my day to get healthy. We'll talk about various subjects, like the supplements that I take, that I'm over 60. We're going to talk about the things that are pretty common for people that are over 60. And this is the very first channel. Nobody will watch this, but I wrote down some notes. Hi, I'm Kevin. I have notes. Hi, I'm Kevin. I'm over 60. And I'm out for a walk. I'll get better as I go along, just like I do when I walk through the hotels and buffet reviews. And, I go to local places here in town that are outside. So people, when they come to Vegas, they can do alternate things besides just gambling. This channel as the notes say, is all about living well over 60. And I figure I'd like to kind of talk about, things that I do and share what I'm learning. Now, this is one of those, I'm learning, I'm talking to you, and you can either use my advice or not use my advice. Because each person is completely different. Completely different. And if I sound like I'm out of breath, I might actually be. I'm getting over a cold. Actually took off almost a week from walking. And so now I'm back out. Let me show you where I'm walking to. I usually go to the park. See the park across the street? Vegas has a lot of these very nice parks. And people hate it when I push this button. They hate it when I push this button because that means they have to come to a stop. See this button?
Wait.
So I'm waiting. So now it's a waiting game. This lane gets to go first because it's a dead end. The only exit here is from this street. So who am I? I'm a pretty much longtime resident of Las Vegas. I've lived here 30 years in the Las Vegas area. One of the things that I do is I focus in more so now. I hadn't been really good, but over the last year I've been thinking about trying to repair my health, trying to make it seem like, try to make it to where I'm not struggling through my 60s and 70s to start now. Now, who's this channel for? This channel is for those that are over 60 or getting close and wants to learn maybe a few things about, how to get healthy and how to stay healthy over 60. So that's a big thing. So I'm not a fitness expert. I'm not a doctor. So always keep this in mind. This is totally entertainment. Just sharing my thoughts. Hey, buddy. Another dog. I see a lot of dogs out on my walks. Actually had one attack me, and I'll address that in another video. Safety when you walk and things like that. Just a quick story. I was out walking in my own neighborhood, for crying out loud. And I was walking past an open garage. All of a sudden I heard this loud growl, and then I heard this scraping of toenails whisking past me and loud bellowous growls from its gut. And it ran after me. And I'm wearing the same jacket I was wearing then. It was just like 2 weeks ago. And a dog, big pit bull, about 90 pounds, 100 pounds, latched his jaws around my coat, so it didn't penetrate. But it definitely wrapped around my arm, the coat over my arm. And I just took one big swing and hit him upside the head, and he backed off and didn't attack after that. So I must have clocked him pretty good. And so, those are things that are going to happen. You know, you can't, now it's almost like I got PTSD. So now I think more about, well, what would happen if I was confronted by a dog? But we'll talk about more in that often in later. And why am I doing this? Why would I do this? Why would I put myself through 2 miles a day, eating certain supplements, eating food the way I do when I do it? And yeah, why would I do that? Because I'm looking for energy, strength, stamina. Hey, buddy. Yeah, I meet a lot of people out while I'm walking. That's why I like walking in this park. It's right next to my house. Trigano Park. I live in the extreme west side, out by northwest of the city of Las Vegas, and north of Summerlin. Sorry if my thoughts aren't coherent all the way through. I'll try and make sure that they do. So, yeah, I'm just trying to improve my overall health. You know, walking is my foundation. It's what gives me motivation. You know, it's my first and foremost. I was in the Army and I loved being in condition as far as my lung is concerned. So, what will we be covering in future videos? Probably one of the very first ones is kind of explaining kind of what I'm doing. Not right now, I'm just kind of explaining why I'm doing this channel. And you know, we're going to be talking about walking routines, you know, from light stretches and hills and you know, even short sprints. I've been doing short sprints lately. Basically, there's a field at Trigano Park that's a bunch of grass, and it's a football field, easily a football field, and I run down as fast as I possibly can. Let me show you the field so you'll kind of know what I'm talking about. And then I sprint. So not something a typical, see the field? And this is my running field. So it's not your typical, I sprint this, literally sprint it. Now it may not seem that far, but it's at least, I would say it's over a football field's length. So I'm going 1 football field down, 1 football field back. I walk a lap around this entire park. And this is a beautiful park. It's pretty new. And then once I walk that again, which is usually about a half mile, then I'll come and do more wind sprints. So the idea behind that is to get my VO2 max up. And we'll talk about things like that. We'll talk about the needs to, you know, actually go above and beyond what you need to do in life to maintain your health. One is to, you know, just like the Nike says, get up and do it. Just do it. I never have to talk myself in to doing 2 mile laps or two mile laps. Never. I never have to talk myself into 2 mile laps. And the reason is because I feel like it's essential to my life. I enjoy it. I'm walking on the grass again back. But yeah, wind sprint. So I'll probably do anywhere from 4 to 6 wind sprints, full out, 4 to 6 wind sprints on most days. I don't do it every day, but I do it on most days. Like today, I'm not going to do it because I'm beginning this series. You know, I'm also going to be talking about the supplements that I use, how I eat, you know, how I cheat. You know, we're going to be talking about ways to cheat and get away with it. So you're not, you know, you don't feel like you can cheat. You can't cheat. You know, sometimes it's good. Like last night, I still had some leftover Halloween candy, and I'm talking full sugar, Hershey's, you know, the Whoppers. It's kind of the mix, and I still have it left over. I'm about to toss it. Better out of sight than in my sight. So I love candy, and I got a sweet tooth, and that was the problem. I have insulin resistance. I am 64 years old, and I am not going to allow that to happen. I'm gonna lose the weight that I need. Right now I'm when I first started, I was at 198. I was pushing 200 pounds, and I'm 5'9". That's okay if you're a football player. You know, that's a good football weight. You know, 200 pounds and 5'9". That's a good running back weight right there. So, and, you know, I've got other problems. You know, I was born with asthma. Almost killed me when I was a baby, my dad told me. And so I had all those. Let me show you all the kids. You can hear kids in the background. I won't show you their faces or anything, but this is a nice park. Yeah, it's a very nice park. And it's kind of a place that I like to go. Another issue that I want to bring up is sleep and recovery. These are all issues that really are of concern to most people over 60. You begin to sleep less. Sleeping's an issue. You know, I found the right supplements that puts me out every single night around 9, 10 o'clock. And I sleep most of the night. I get up usually one time in the night. Can't seem to shake that, but I'm sure gonna try. And I'm also gonna be talking about things that work for me and, you know, things that you can do to actually live well after 60. And that's what this whole video is about. I'm gonna talk about things that may be a little uncomfortable for you, but you surely need to hear about them. So, how these videos will work. I'm reading off my notes again. The videos are totally unscripted. I do have some notes. And I'll be reading off of those notes. So, you know, it's not, I wanted another channel that I could document my living well after 60. And again, I'm 64, I'm on Social Security. I do other things. I've got, you know, I retired from marketing. After all my adult, I was in marketing and advertising. I went to college at Texas Tech University. Texas Tech. They're gonna win the big national championship this year, I hope. Texas Tech. So I'm gonna go. It's usually my 2 mile walk usually lasts about, well, if I do 18s, I usually try to get 17 minute miles, but usually I end up with in the 18s. So usually 18 times 2 miles is 36 minutes. So I'm out walking for 36 minutes. I'm gonna unzip my coat. I'm already starting to get tired. Not tired, I'm starting to get hot. Definitely does not tire me out after doing this for so long. So yeah, unscripted, honest, evolving. I'm going to be making, assumptions at the beginning. I'm going to watch YouTube videos, of people that kind of know what they're talking about, kind of like me. You can just count on me. I've actually have a pretty good retainer of the material of living well after 60. So I can put it together well for you. So, I urge you to subscribe and walk along with me. It's kind of relaxing. The videos that I do for my other channel, Helpful Journey, it's all about walk and talks basically as well, but they're kind of, to me, about a very serious subject. I love the casinos. I love living here. I love the history of Las Vegas. I've seen so many casinos rise and so many casinos fall. Man, the first time I got here was in 1996, and they were tearing down hotels, imploding hotels left and right. So when do I usually do my walk and talks? I usually do them around 9 a.m. Let me show you how the weather's changed. It's we're a little less than a week from Christmas in Las Vegas, and see the weather. Yeah, it's good and cold. It's probably in the 40s. It's in the 40s. Yeah, there's going to be, these videos will have absolutely no hype. They are definitely not going to be perfection. One thing that I learned and was told beforehand was that if you start a YouTube channel, and I urge you to start a YouTube channel if you can, the influencers, I'm not considered an influencer. Maybe if I put something on and you agree to do it at your own, on making your own opinion and your own judgment, you decide to follow me. So I guess that would make me an influencer. But I think of myself, I just like to do YouTube channels. I like to, talk in a camera. You can see I like to talk. I've been a talker all my life. So, who? We can go through who, what, when, why, and where. Who? It's you, the person that is probably watching this now. You're over 60, or you're getting near, and you feel like you got that gut. You probably figure, you go get a blood test and it tells you you're over on these things, usually like triglycerides. And, the problem really stems from your insulin levels and the amount of sugar that you have in your bloodstream. How can you counter that? How can you counter and bring down? Well, first of all, you eat nothing but proteins and fat, but not everybody feels, a certain level of satiety with just eating, meats and fats, which I try to eat more of all the time. I need to get at least 120 grams of protein every single day. You do too, depending on your weight. But wow, I think I just went dark. I got auto white balance on, but anyway, you know what I look like. And so yeah, no hype, just hopefully consistency. I want to do this every day for you. I want to talk to you every single day. about the things that, you know, I find useful. So, you know, if it sounds useful, I'm glad you're here. Welcome. Welcome to my channel. Subscribe. That way you can see future videos as they come out. If you subscribe, the video, any future videos I have will automatically be placed into your queue so you can watch them. And a lot of people like these walk and talks. They like to, you know, walk around and so that's pretty much why I'm doing it. It's because I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get healthy. I'm gonna live well over 60 anyways. And I'm gonna make a YouTube channel about it anyways. So I hope you watch. You know, some of the things that I'll again be covering, just so you remember, is we're going to be talking about supplements. We're going to talk about, we may even talk about Medicare. We may even talk about Medicare. And the reason is because Medicare is a part of your health. I'm about to go on Medicare. I'm going the full ride though. I'm not going to take an advantage plan that takes advantage of me. I'm just going to, you know, praise God, I can afford it. You know, you got to pay a certain portion out of your Social Security check anyway for the A and B. And then you pick whether you go on a zero premium advantage plan, which they take advantage of you. It's an HMO or a PPO. And then with the Medigap that you get, the other one is Medigap, not Advantage, but Medigap. That covers the gap that parts A and B won't pay. So, you know, these are the things that we'll be talking about. And yeah, so honestly, just stick with me. You know, if you want to walk along with me, stick with me. People exercise in Vegas. People ride bikes. Well, you know, look at the weather. It's almost December and it's only 40 or 50 degrees. Today's probably going to be, you know, at least 60. Maybe lower, I hope. And yeah, just think. Just think, you all that time you spent building up your Social Security, your 401ks, you know, to make sure that when you retire, you have a nice, and you're living well in your 60s. You know, you're living well in your 60s. We may even talk about, you know, finance. I use for a lot of my savings, several accounts. I buy treasury bills, and that pays a monthly amount, and I can live off those monthly amounts and keep the principal in the treasuries. Not spend the principal for that. So there's a lot of ways that you can do it. So yeah, a lot of dogs. Like, he's a pretty dog. He's beautiful. A lot of dogs out on my walk and talk. Still, I'm not going to be afraid of them. I got clubs of steel. Let's see what we're doing here as far as Okay, we passed the mile. We're on a mile and a half. So I use the Nike app. And so right now I'm at 1.57 miles. You've been with me almost the entire time. Up here, may not be able to see that, but I'm average pace is almost 20 minutes because I'm talking at the same time. But yeah, so fun. It's Friday. Yeah, so stick with me if you want to learn to live well in your 60s. Now, I might go quiet for a little bit and let you. I'm going to record the entire journey. Right now, I'm at 31 minutes, and I probably got another 9 minutes to go. So maybe I won't.
Wait.
I'll probably just sit back and enjoy this is a main street. You got to be really careful about crossing this. It stops though. So he got to go, next I'll get to go. He should have been the other way around, but why not get rid of the faster traffic? Yeah, I'll tell you what, one of the things over 60 that I'm really having to have not only myself as a reminder, but my wife. I told her I don't want to gripe anymore. Seems the older you get, the more you gripe, the more you complain. Man, if you're retired and your living is paid for, what in the heck are you griping and complaining about? Obviously traffic in Las Vegas is the worst. It really is. It's like, I know that if I'm going to drive today and I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to go somewhere, that in Vegas I'm probably either going to have, somebody try to accelerate past me like in a furious hurry or flip me off. I'm just at the pace, that I guess a retirement guy drives at. I just feel like I get in my car, I do the speed limit, maybe a little bit over it so that I don't have people complaining at me all the time. But you get it. Why are people so, and those are the same people that pass me, cut me off, and then they pull into the same grocery store that I'm going to. Those are the kind of things that I usually complain about. Shouldn't complain, but I do. And so I've asked my wife to help me kind of point it out to me, not for her to gripe at me because, nobody wants a griping wife. And my wife by far does not gripe at me. We get along extremely well. Been together. Well, we both moved here, so 30 plus years together. Happy wife, happy life. Works. I'm not just saying that. I strive to keep my family happy. My daughter, my son. I talk to my son all the time. He lives in Alabama. My grandkids are there. My daughter-in-law, Catherine. Caden's my son. Love them, miss them all the time. Got to go to Disneyland this last year. My son actually took me. Well, I met him there and then he paid for my entry. So, I have too much left of this walk. Let's look at where I walk. I walk down this they have little, these big, tall electric poles. And then you've got this hallway, and my community is right here. And then you've got this little walking channel that you can either go, if you go straight, it takes you up a hill. and then down another hill to a baseball park. Now that one for me is 3 miles. I love doing that one because it's hills. I either like to do the park and sprints, short sprints, or I like to walk up that hill when I don't feel like doing sprints. But let me tell you, it's good for you. Here's the thing. Here's the thing that you can always remember. If it's good for me, why not do it? Why not do sprints? It doesn't hurt. I run as fast as I can. I don't run as fast as an Olympic sprinter. I remember as being a kid in football, we would always run wind sprints in full uniform, uniform. And so I thought, well, it's good for VO2 max. Why don't I do it now at 60 years old? Thought it couldn't hurt. It's not like I'm going to have a heart attack from doing it. But if I do it, and I do it on a more consistent basis, answer me this. Is that going to help me? Yes or no? Is that going to allow me to live well after 60? And yes, it will help me live well after 60. My arm's getting tired. Normally it takes me about 15 minutes to walk through a casino. And yes, I can film inside casinos. Things have changed. Before it would be, I'd be caught, trespassed, and I'd never be able to go in there. If it was MGM or Caesars, I might not be able to go in any of the MGM or any of the Caesars. But it's social media now. It's not intrusive. People love it. I only talk good about the hotels because I love each and every hotel for what it offers. Great places to walk. Las Vegas is a great place to walk. So if you ever decide to come to Vegas, I could tell you some amazing places to walk or hike or do, activities. There's even Las Vegas means the meadows. Las Vegas means the meadows. And the reason why they called it that is because in the desert, water's precious. And downtown was a place where the Indians got their water from. And that's where it got the name. A Mormon fort was built. Railroad stops were built. And so there's this Springs Preserve place in Vegas that has nothing but beautiful, it's kind of like the exposition area for the water company here in town of how to save money with water, low water usage. And so at this place, Springs Preserve, there's so many desert plants. And they'll show you the wildlife in this desert. And so it's a fun place to walk around. It's big enough to where, you can get a mile in lap, easy. And then just walk that lap twice. So, look, right now, I don't know if you can see it that well, but see all the leaves. We get our fall. Most people get it around September. Las Vegas, we get our fall pretty much around December. You can see it's still green. Palm trees, but it's still green. And stuff starts falling off the trees in December. So, yeah, say I'm going to continue to walk. And then I'm going to finish when I get to the end of the street. So, listen, I really appreciate you staying with me. I would prefer that you watch every last bit of my video, of course. But I understand if you don't. Just so you know, FY, the YouTube algorithm, if you watch all of it, I get more credit. So just leave it on. If you're going to walk away and you got to go somewhere, just leave it running. And, subscribe to my channel. Tomorrow I'm gonna start, talking about the things, specific things. This was more just an introductory. Have you get to know who I am. Again, I'm gonna try to be as healthy as I can possibly be. I'm gonna try to become the healthiest that I can be. And I'm gonna also include that in the videos that I do, so you can see, and you can try it for yourself. Like there for a while, I couldn't sleep. I was literally getting an hour to two. You know how frustrating it is when you can't sleep? You might have had insomnia for a couple of days or a week or whatever. It's crazy. It really affects your whole physical being. And I was sleeping great until I bought a new, one of those new foam mattresses. And then it was like, oh my gosh, I can't get comfortable. And I would get in bed and my mind would say, you're just going to get up. Don't even bother. And then I found this amazing supplement. One was magnesium. I must be low in magnesium, and I took the Theorate version of magnesium, which allows it to penetrate the brain. So, we'll be talking about magnesium. We'll be talking about how it affected me. And then, so now all I'm taking is the magnesium Theorate at night. And then I'm also taking glycine, which glycine is one of those amino acids. We'll be talking about that more, but it helps you to sleep as well. So what it does, what the Theorate does is magnesium helps you to sleep, but the glycine helps you to become cooler at night. You ever notice that you sleep better when it's colder at night? That's glycine. I take the normal dose of glycine, and I take a magnesium Theorate to help me get my sleep that I need. So, and guess what? I'm pretty much sleeping 6 to 8 hours every night because I found that trigger. And so now I've been kind of watching the dosage. I was at 2 last night. I did 1 magnesium Theorate and glycine, and I fell fast asleep. So it might tell me I just need to do 1. And those are all the kind of things that I'm going to go over. From sleep to memory, to keep from getting Alzheimer's, taking apple cider vinegar, all these things, that will help you it'll help you to live well after 60. So even if you're 70 does not say you cannot do wind sprints. All it means is you have to go maybe 100 yards as fast as you can. Not as fast as I can, as fast as you can. And if you can, do 1 or 2, usually I can get 2, I can go down and back, walk another, around the park a little bit more, go back, do another down and back, walk around one more time, and then I do my third set up, down, and back. So, you know, that's it. I just wanted you to know. Hope you stick with me in the future. Hope you watch my videos, you subscribe, and let's take this channel to, you know, a place where we can learn a lot about living well after 60. So I truly appreciate it. That's the end of this video. It's a good 45 minutes, but the other ones won't be this long, I promise. So stick with me in the future. We'll talk about things to help you after 60. All right. Peace out, and thanks for watching. Bingo. I usually leave enough room at the end for the, you know, for the other videos to show up. So thank you. Thank you.